what do you think is going to be the future of digital media?
Oh God, what a question. I don't know. That's an honest answer, because fundamentally, everything that the futurists say is guarded. It kind of could come true, might not come true at all. I remember the DVD was going to kill off cinema. It didn't happen. I go to the movies more often than I ever did before I got a DVD player. That digital newspapers were going to destroy newspapers, and I often pick up a copy of The Age in printed version. So what's going to happen? I think the way things are delivered and the way we interact with the media is going to change. Classic example of the internet was email in particular was going to kill off the mail service, and to some degree it kind of did, but at the same time eBay reinvigorated the parcel service. So suddenly people who had mail delivery services that did parcels were busier than ever. They got 2 or 3 vans where they might have had one. So it might not be as simple as what we think, that the digital future might not be exactly how we can predict it. I predict some simple stuff, like I think there will be forms of voting. There'll be digital voting. Eventually we have to get to a point where we can cast our vote in a manner that's not so work intensive, and we can do it on our phones, which scares some people. The idea of voting your parliamentarians in with a like, if you want, or a poke, is kind of scary. Also, things like digital commerce, I think, is really hard to predict what's going to happen with that. Facebook, for example, running in the background there, I laugh at the advertisements that are on the side, and I wonder what value they have, and I will confess that I have bought a onesie, not for me, and a t-shirt off the companies that advertise on those banners after scoffing at them. So I think advertising is changing, the acceptability of that's changing. It's really difficult to predict. I would hate to be a futurist, because what seems like a logical and straightforward linear process is like that genealogy, in that in actual fact it's not so simple, that the digital future isn't clear and linear. It's got little side roads that can die or become a great boon. Things come and go so quickly. I think stuff that will probably really be the most confronting is things like social norms and the social structure that we come to expect. And already you can read, if you just jump on Google and you look at the decline of church as social group, things like those sorts of social spaces are declining, and there's no doubt about that. So that'll be the hardest bit, is to work out what's acceptable. I think that unacceptable things like dropping somebody or severing a relationship with a Facebook status update might one day not be acceptable, but be accepted, be tolerated. You might well terminate your relationship with people in the public space, and that's not considered horrid or rude or unusual, it's just normal. So maybe that social change is probably the biggest and the most exciting part of it, for good and bad.